I have to get Alice's permission to take Never had a desire, but now. My buddy was dancing with you.
Hey, welcome in to Bridging Civil Tension. This is the show where we build bridges instead of burn them down or blow them up. This is where we're going to talk about things that, well, people like to argue about and holler about and point fingers about. And guess what? We're not going to do that. We're going to have just a good conversation. Of course, this guy to my left, your right, is Phil Wallace. Phil is author, entrepreneur, owns Laylos clothing line. Coach, mentor.
I'm friends with you guys.
What?
That's it.
And
father.
Yeah,
his birthday is next week.
Well, hold on. He got one of the cutest kids I ever met. His feet are like the size of a 77 Cadillac. And he's how old?
He'll be 8. He'll be 8.
He's gonna be like 10 foot tall.
Oh, he is.
He's gonna be a little Sasquatch, bro.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
I mean, he was.
I love you, Elijah. I promise you, I do, bro.
Hey,
but I gotta get you this
out. What was he all dressed up for?
Picture day at school.
And his brother had
Facebook picture.
Yeah.
Awesome,
and he's got his Jordans on, and I'm like, and Phil had said, you know, and I'm like, all right, every dad says that. I saw that picture. I'm like, what? What?
So these are 16, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in Texas.
16.
I'm in Texas early January.
Yeah,
and
like
he's
mine.
Right. And he's standing in front of me, and I'm looking down, and his foot was there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's got to wear close to size 10.
Crease. Bro, you're 7.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what size is his foot?
It's gonna be.
It's got to be like a 9.
Yeah, it's 9.
People all kinds of excited about Phil.
Hey, I'll tell you.
No.
I'm
man of the club.
You know, yeah. Of course, the guy
Charles mine out the gutter. This is about my son.
The guy to the right of me, your left, as you're watching on social media, is Drew Cappuccino. Drew is entrepreneur, father, mentor,
international man of mystery.
I'm telling you, owns DCCS. DCCS, which is awesome, and it literally his goal in life is to help as many people be successful as possible. Right. That's why I love him. So Phil, if you are listening out on 216 The Net on the radio station, Phil, what part are you going to play this today?
You know what? Consistency is key.
All right, so Phil's going to go with African American.
Oh, I thought you were going to be the white guy today.
The Italian did sound cool though.
Yeah, today I'm identifying as a unicorn American.
Ooh. The unicorn American, good.
I wasn't going to be regular Italian. I was going to be Eddie Murphy Italian.
Yeah,
there you go.
I love it.
This guy right here.
and as we say in certain parts of the Chicagoland area, Drew will be playing the Italian.
Shy Trallion.
And of course, I'm Kent. I am the white guy from Iowa. So there you go.
Can't get more mayonnaise than that.
Another message. I tell Kent stop talking about Iowa. I was like, he's from Iowa. Right? He gets to say that word.
I do. Yeah, it's like literally where I grew up, right? And today there's just a plethora. There's a plethora of things, but first, we're going to say that today's brought to you through the support of our good friends over at DCCS. So a little shout out to them. You want to tell?
Yeah, DCCS, Dynamic Conversion Consulting Services. We are a business resource specialists. Yep. We are in a brokerage space to help as many people as we possibly can through real estate, insurance, technology, human resource, talent management, and now media. Oh, an academy. We have an LMS tool with over 180 courses and coaching programs.
So if you're a business, awesome. your company, your church, whatever it is, you've got it checks the box for compliance.
We take the pain away. So let us do all the work. Let's put you in the right direction to the right vetted people, and you're able to move forward and level up your business.
And
real quick though, if you don't mind me interjecting, I got to meet with Phil with a one-on-one, and awesome guy. Gave me his book, and I started digging into it. It's awesome. And you know what? I don't know, We know he's an author, but
Yeah.
I mean, where do we get your book at?
So to be on Learn to Sew, it's on Amazon right now. We're revamping the site for Learn to Sew. That would
Yep.
be the ideal position for that. We're going to do that partnership with 21/6 for that way. Any other people who upload their book, part of the kickback
Yes.
goes to 21/6 and then from Learn to Sew.
Yeah, that's
and then we do
awesome.
donations from charities locally.
Love it.
Proceeds.
Yeah, it's huge.
Love it.
Huge. And of course, and listen, if you can't find us, you're just not looking. I mean, we're on the interweb. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter, and now we're on Twitch. So we're out in the Twitch world. So our
Nice.
Twitch fans, welcome in. We love you. Glad to have you with us. Check us out. Like, follow, subscribe everywhere you can. You can find us on Apple Radio, 216 the net, and listen live anytime. We are a non-genre station. The only things that we don't cover are politics and the news.
That's right.
That's it.
Sweet.
That's it. And so if you're looking for something that'll go political, go elsewhere. Not here. Right?
Daily dose of encouragement.
Daily dose of encouragement right here. A lot of stuff going on, Bill, right?
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. And there's some cool things. So we've got Carl Malone, UFOs, fires. What Carl Malone, what happened?
Dude,
I didn't see. The mailman.
I got heartbroken, bro.
Really?
So there's a post and it said, Karl Malone, long story short, he had a 13-year-old pregnant. When he was 20. 13-year-old pregnant. The parents didn't want to mess up his bad name. Didn't want to pay $125 in child support, blah, despite being in the NBA. The dude is actually in the NFL, though. They met when he became 19 years old, kind of told him that it's too late for me to be a father in your life. You're going to have to figure it out from here. And he's like, I'm in the NFL. I don't really.
Yeah. Who are you?
But I wouldn't expect that from Carl, man.
13-year-old.
You just never know, though. You know, right? I mean, everybody's got something.
Hey, down south, though.
That's
he went
something. That's something
right?
that hits
He's
hard.
a Southern dude.
Yeah, he went to Louisiana State or something like that.
But
right? Not
Carl,
LSU.
he pulled an Elvis.
Yeah. Hey.
That
Hey, Jessica.
Yeah.
Jessica
She
just
says,
Googled.
Drew, happy Friday, gentlemen. Yeah. Well, I mean, Carl's getting close to 60. I mean, he's a little bit older than me, right?
Well, he was
Times were
20.
different back then.
He was 20 and 13, but that's still okay. I'm glad you said it. Times are different. Was there ever a time? Because I hear this a lot. You know, obviously for race, well, times are different, but I've never thought of a time where it's like, oh, there's a lynching. Let me grab Elijah. We can watch. Like,
Right.
Grab the popcorn.
but for whatever,
your own rope.
That's right.
but forever, whatever reason, making it great again.
Yeah.
Like you
Times were different.
I don't think you remember what that looked like for
Yeah,
everyone else.
Right.
But when I hear times are different, like, do people take the time to really think about, like, was there ever a time? And even if it was okay, let's go back to lynching. Let's take away the pedophilia. Like, where it's like, man, this is what's up.
I like the option one. Let's just get rid of the pedophilia right now. And just go
Yeah.
Right? Because that's we're gonna get back to that because that's the last part, the cover,
Yes,
right?
there it is.
So we're,
Hey.
is there a time where like what makes people say that, you know, times are different back then to justify the Carl situation or like lynching or like casually being derogatory to other races? Like
It's
I've
biblical, man. I mean, Mary, right? Mary was a teen.
Yeah.
Right. And when God was like, "Hey, you're going to be the mother of the,"
but
Savior.
that's still not like Abraham being like, "What's up, Mary?" It's like, you're 400 years old, Yoda. Like, get off me, Yoda. Don't put that there. Right. I think that's the stat. Anyway,
popsicle stick.
it's not a lightsaber. I don't.
It's not.
But like, I've seen people utilize that to like, either they didn't take responsibility to step up during that time, or they're just trying to justify something that's really unacceptable for any period of time.
Right.
And I what can we teach people to be like, nah?
Yeah. Well, you got to teach your kids that, first of all.
Right.
Hey, look at that. SG3 is in. Good morning, guys.
Singapore.
Sal, of course, the host of the Reject Rundown on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Yeah, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Yeah. Well, 8 p.m. Mountain.
Awesome show.
Yeah. Great show. We love the Rejects. Those guys do just great stuff. And Sal, you're a big part of that. And of course, Sal also jumping in as production and stuff for Let Me Tell You Something, brother. Sitting in. Love what he does. Love what he does. So
I'm laughing with you, Drew, because I don't watch football. I don't watch boxing. The first time they had me on the show, two topics.
Right. Right.
Of course.
What's your thoughts, Phil?
Right.
He ran fast and
Sports and ball.
played good.
Fighting. Gloves.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So no, you're right, and there isn't. And as a parent, I didn't want to ruin his good name. What? You just ruined my daughter.
right.
My daughter. All right. So here's the deal. Lucy is 13. She's in the 8th grade.
No.
8th grade. Now, first of all, Carl, a 20-year-old? Let me tell you. I get upset if it's a freshman.
Right.
I get upset if it's a grade higher than her.
Right.
Hey, that's a high school. You don't get out of there, right?
Yeah. That's
So now you're a sophomore, 20 years old. You're a sophomore,
you're
junior
established in college.
in college.
You have your associates at least.
At least. And you're like, hey, I noticed that cute roller skates. I mean, what do you say?
Well, I mean,
right? Hey.
So let's look at the whole global picture here a little bit.
Mhm.
I do not promote that at all.
At all.
Right?
Right, correct. We
Other-
don't condone that
there's
here
other
at
places in
2169.
this world,
Yeah.
right? That 13 is the marriage age. There's, the day your absolute worst day is somebody's best day.
Right.
So regardless of race or sex or 500 genders that we might have today.
Right.
Yeah.
There's somewhere else
Allegedly.
where someone had to wake up, right? Somebody had to wake up,
Yeah.
and was forced to kill their parents. Was forced to kill their parents, join a militia to go pillage and rape and steal from other villages.
Yeah.
So, I guess the perspective is, it's wrong. Yes, what he did. In
Are you talking
my
about,
book,
are you talking about the Pilgrims?
I'm talking about the way the world is.
Oh, because it sounds like that.
Today.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, right. We can lead back to the.
I just
Yeah.
didn't. I got confused because the two stories look the same.
But it's
They were
true.
tracking. They
Right.
were tracking, as we said.
See, once again, and even the last show, we said internet. Everything's in your face.
Right.
Yeah.
You get to the intel
Yeah.
and the data is right there, so everybody sees it now. But it's always been there.
Right.
It hasn't changed. And so I guess my perspective is what he did was wrong.
Right.
Would he be the only one? And because he's well known, does that make a difference?
Yeah, I think it does.
Right.
Because like the Elvis situation, right? Or
Yep.
is it Woody Harrelson or whatever who adopted the Asian girl
Yes.
and then ended up marrying the Asian
Was
girl?
that Woody Harrelson?
Not Harrelson. It was Woody Allen.
Woody
Woody
Allen.
Allen. Thank you.
And it was like a known thing, even Elvis, it's a known thing that like it's not Bill Cosby, right? It's not that. It's but like,
Right.
it's more like they did that thing, and it's like Brett Favre and what they did with Millions.
Yeah.
Talked about, but no one really reacted on.
Yeah, Brett's actually the victim here. We're finding
He's
out.
actually suing.
Yes.
So
There's so
Stop
many
it.
things happening at the same time.
Stop it.
that's what I'm saying. Because there's so much. Like that's what I was like. Kim was like, "What do you want to talk about, bro?" There's so much. Because how could I? And I won't say privilege because then that's a trigger word. How can I steal millions from low income people, black, white, brown, whatever the case may be?
Sure.
After I steal millions and it's known and it comes out that I stole millions, no one does anything to me. Just says we don't like that you stole millions from those poor people. Well, dude, I don't like that you called me out for stealing millions from poor people.
Right.
I'm going to sue you for defamation, although it's true. It's like we made it up.
No.
It's documented.
Yep.
And I get to, man.
Yep.
Please find me at the source. I don't know I don't want to say privilege, but I don't know any other scenario where I've heard I can steal millions from Crystal Lake locals.
Right.
And I don't like that you called me a thieving thug.
Right. How dare you?
How dare you suing
How
me?
dare
Well-
you wag your finger
Well,
at me for
listen.
something that I did?
I did.
Listen, let's be honest.
Man.
Let's be honest, Phil.
Yeah.
If you would have been wearing a hooded sweatshirt and held people at gunpoint for those millions. You wouldn't do it cyberly.
This is true.
I'm just saying.
This is true.
Right. Allegedly. Right? Allegedly. The white guy goes, hey, let me just send this email. You don't think we're going to get caught on this? And you can't track this to me, right? Send.
And there's the screenshot of me having the conversation with Kent. Like, hey, bro, you work at a bank, right? We can't get caught right there.
Right.
No, we're good, Phil. I will have it over to you by sharp.
Yeah.
Right. Per my last email.
Right.
We finna get paid. Like, what the
Dated and timed at this time.
And we look at you and say, allegedly?
Allegedly.
Bro.
I mean, even back
That's where my
even
guys
back in
act
the day, the mobsters, they wouldn't talk on a home line, right? Hell, they got to the point where they had to stand around and cover their mouth and talk like this
Outside.
Yeah.
You know, but now we're just, freely sending out the info. And, people are like, oh, you can't get my social security number because, they can see my identity. Dude, that thing in your hand has a camera, a microphone.
It listens. It's listening right now, aren't you, Google?
That's right. Google
Everybody's thing just went.
That's right. Bots. Your time pounding. Right.
Your time.
Let's see what Jessica says.
Carmelo.
Wealthy, rich, affluent, prosperous, lucky, fortunate, special, elite, forward, select, advantaged, socially advantaged. Other words for
you're awesome.
Right.
Privilege. You're awesome.
And yes, but the other ones are not triggers.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
We'll use those words for the rest of the show.
That's correct. So it is very true. Now, I look at, so if we roll back to Carl, right. Let's roll back to Carl. If he knew that, now I don't know the scenario. As I said, I'm coming in like, what happened? Gross, first of all,
right.
But then you look at the person, right? Mm-hmm. And here's a guy who's done well for himself. Now, if gross and all of a sudden, he was sending thousands of dollars to raise, I don't know, right? If he had nothing to do with it, then bad person. First of all, gross, and then horrible human, right? Especially now, if Carl was not in the position in life that he was, let's say that he, worked in the brake part factory at Callahan Brakes, right?
Callahan Brake Parts,
and live paycheck to paycheck. I could understand, right? That was like, I know. I wish I can't. I wish the guy's buying semis and ranches, So if it was, well, nothing, because I just want to protect his good name. First of all, bad on the parents, right? First of all, bad with that's your 13-year-old daughter,
right?
Who just got raped.
Could you imagine, like Lucy, wipe these tears, sweetie? That is the mailman.
Hey, he's got potential. He could go places.
He's probably going to end up top 10 rebounds of all time.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
No. I can't. With my kid, my daughters, man, they would never find them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't say that on record, but
you're
not wrong. I'll say that. You're not wrong.
I don't care.
No, you can.
My kids are
we can.
Y'all can.
Let me send you an email later.
I have friends who have said they would not have.
Allegedly.
But my thing is, like, I feel, because it's going to tie into what we're going to end it up with, but like, why is there such a protection for that behavior? Okay, for instance, like, it's almost known that there's a child-friendly station that also has 2 theme parks, one in California, one in Orlando, that if you're a child actor, you're probably going to end up touched and messed up by the time that you whatever. However, you would still send Lucy, like, go out there and be a star.
Yeah, that's a parent.
At what point do we even look at that establishment and say, okay, what's going on that so many of these kids have the same story? Why is it like, again, Elvis, where we know this is sick, but we still listen to the music. We still watch the movie. We still whatever the case
was. A big
Michael
Elvis.
Jackson.
I never was a big Elvis fan.
The king of rock and roll.
I was never really got into
Love his music.
Johnny Cash, different story.
But hold on, look. That individual. Okay, for instance.
Yeah. No, I get it.
If I let dogs fight, I'm taken out of the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But if I marry a 14-year-old, I'm the king.
Yeah, king of rock. They
can't fight, and that's wrong. And that's wrong. And my privileges as far as a Hall of Fame are revoked.
Yeah. Run DMC.
I still get the crown.
Well, then we did have a king of pop, so the king of rock and the king of pop. Obviously, we know how to get the jewels, the crown jewel.
Right.
So But you know what? Well, Michael still comes on. I like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm still gonna moonwalk across my living room.
Hey, same thing with Prince. You just
I probably fell 50 times trying to do the lean from the smooth.
Yeah.
I thought on my feet I'd be good, but no.
Yeah.
Well, and he's such an icon, and it's quick how everybody dismissed all the things and trials and tribulations of the same story for several.
See, even Jessica's don't touch Michael.
Sorry,
Right.
Jessica, it's not about us touching Michael. It's about
Did he use the anyway?
Maybe that's why I only had one glove.
Right.
The other one didn't fit, so never mind. Anyway,
but that goes back to the P word that we're not going to say.
I'm not
right?
gonna say that.
But that goes right back to that, right?
well,
because if it was anybody else,
It'd be a problem, but
it'd
not
be a
mine.
problem. That's
But
right.
listen, throughout history, you can open up history books. Throughout history, there's always been the double standard. If you have
Presidents.
right? It just you go back to czars. You go back to
I
Europe.
think there's an island.
Yeah. We'll get to that, right? But
Not Pinocchio. It's Fantasy Island, though.
But,
Anyway.
the truth of the matter is society says, oh, right, and we all have very short-term memory, so it's like, okay, too bad, and then a balloon flies across America and we forget about it, right? So the idea of there's always been that double standard for the rich, the wealthy, the people who are in the spotlight, so to speak, right? We could go back and we could just say the last name of Kennedy and leave it at that.
Right.
Everybody knows stories there, right?
Mhm.
Never mind a bridge. And
Yep.
I'm just saying, right? We could say, we could go into another one and just say Rockefeller. We could say J.P. Morgan, right? I mean, there's always
You can say those names.
right? Yes, right. So
Drew Cappuccino has nothing to do with the names coming out of Kent.
right. So the idea of, and now all the bots are
I already got
probably are
Jessica. I
silent.
already got Jessica angry with me about MJ. So
Right.
well, so I'm stopping.
So
Tell me more about who's bad.
yeah. so
This story's a thriller.
at what point, and this is what we've talked about on Bridging Civil Tension for years, is at what point do we go, this has gotta stop? And how do I punish that person? Well, stop listening to the music, stop sending money, stop funneling money to them.
Well,
right?
I think originally the cancel culture scenario started kicking through the Me Too movement. A lot of those were like, "Hey, we've had enough." Look what happened to Terry Crews, right? Look what happened to
Terry Crews?
Terry Crews.
Yeah,
he was groped by a man in an elevator.
the big
Oh,
muscly
yeah.
guy,
Oh,
the big muscly guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Fights
that.
is-
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome
yeah,
actor.
he's-
Love.
Right.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah,
Him and White Chicks.
he's hilarious too. Actually, yeah.
Brendan
Played the
Fraser.
flute.
What happened to him? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's been cultures that are coming out, and once again, there's no gray area. It's either fall off the cliff or
Yeah.
don't say anything.
Yeah.
There's never that middle ground. So then the cancel culture got to the point where it was just like, we're canceling everybody for everything. I don't like the way that guy's eye looks. He's
Right.
gone.
Gone. Right.
So
He said something on his 10.
right.
But why is it okay? Like, we would get canceled for what we're saying right now.
Sure.
But again,
But when you own the station,
Right.
thank you very
But at
much.
21.6 the net.
Yeah.
but if we were the mayor, then everybody could just know that we. I'm not saying this is happening, but like,
No, right.
can be married to a 13-year-old and it's no big deal. Like, I don't understand that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Right? They could be out in the open, like how they changed the new Hocus Pocus 2 logo to like the pedophile triangle,
The pizza slice,
the pizza slice.
allegedly.
Just learn that now. Awesome. Didn't know that.
It's like that's not the original O.
Interesting.
Different symbol.
Allegedly.
I know. Real quick, sorry for you guys.
That's right.
If you watch Pinocchio now, ew.
It's bad.
The only movie about a conscience has little boys being taken to an island and sold.
Sounds familiar.
Allegedly.
Look at the bad guy from the first one, and then look at Epstein. You know what I'm not gonna say?
Hey, that's right.
There's a house that winds.
You're dealing it all on the head right now.
Coming out soon.
Guns blazing.
Well,
It's just sick, bro. Like I gotta have a kid, so I'm thinking like he's got a 13. Like
Yeah,
why
got
would
two
I
girls.
want? So if Elijah's like, man, I want to be an actor, dad, because he's funny and animated, and Lucy's funny. Send me to Disney to. Nah.
So let me play something, right? Let me play something. I'm going to hold it up to the microphone, but just listen to this.
And he said, Dad, guess which is it? Is it NBA or NFL?
Oh.
36 have been accused of spousal abuse. 7 have been arrested for fraud. 19 have been accused of writing bad checks. 117 have directly or indirectly been bankrupted at least 2 businesses. 3 have done time for assault. 71, I repeat, 71 cannot get a credit card due to their bad credit. 14 have been arrested on drug-related charges. 8 have been arrested for shoplifting. 21 currently are defendants in lawsuits, and 84 have been arrested for drunk driving in the last year. How many of you think NBA? How many of you think NFL?
Which is it? NBA or NFL?
NFL.
The United States Congress.
Oh.
Those stats are for your elected officials.
Wow.
Your elected officials. Now, why? So that's what we're talking about,
Right.
is that double standard. I'm above the law.
Right.
What do you mean? Here. So we've got busters. This is what I would call busters back in we got busters running this world who disregard the laws that they create, who can't live up to the laws that they create. Right?
So yes, right. First and foremost, the one, I love that video because I just know, especially where we live, right? There's some, oh my God, these horrible that's got NBA.
And I wasn't thinking of Brett Favre colored people.
Not at all.
When they
Aaron
went-
Rodgers never came to mind, except for maybe the drunk driving, because
Yeah,
statistically,
mushrooms, whatever that is.
whatever.
Yeah.
There's a
Anyway,
lot to call
allegedly.
that.
Allegedly. But the thing is, since we've been doing the show, I watched what I would get called a thug for.
Ooh.
I watched where if this guy gets shot by this officer, well, he had,
Suspended license, drunk driving, poor credit.
so he's a thug. The dude in Dallas,
Thug.
when the cop busted in his apartment and so, well, there was 2 grams of less than your official.
Right.
It's actually a lot less than what your
Lot.
officials have drug felony charge. He's
Mhm.
not a felony. This is
Right. This isn't his ashtray.
so right.
Right.
So this made him thug enough to be able to be murdered. This
Out of
is
a dead
actually-
sleep.
Out of a dead sleep.
Dead sleep.
This is actually more severe crimes that you haven't even heard about.
Oh, by the way, that was the wrong guy too.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Our mistake.
My bad.
So I just wondered why this makes these guys thugs. And as long as I keep a suit on, I can drunk drive. That's all I gotta do. Forget this thermal. Maybe some Tom Fords,
Yeah.
some New
Get
Balances.
yourself a little Hager.
Officer. I understand the confusion. I identify as
Right.
a Congress member.
Well, you might as well at this point.
Right. Saver.
Yeah.
Wow.
How?
So again, we'll go back to what Ray Zelinsky, the Auto Parts King, said, and what the American people don't know, make them the American people.
Right. But you've seen what it's like. Well, Phil, it's not about color. He's a thug. He did illegal things.
Sure.
He's a thug.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a single official called a thug, animal, savage, none of this, hoodlum, none of that.
So I mean, it's a wonderful speaking point
Mhm.
that this gentleman has. However, you haven't seen anyone in that area step up and go, "Yep, that's me."
That's what I'm saying. That video's known.
Yep, that's me.
Well,
Right?
right.
If you do the math on that list,
Yeah.
well into the hundreds, not one person, like you're saying,
Right.
is identified.
Right.
Why not? We're identified immediately as it
All the
happens.
time.
Immediately.
All time.
Yeah.
Suspect that was accused of is Phil Wallace with the Crystal Lake South. His stats were the
Who
So
lives at?
right. That's my
Jessica,
address
yeah.
now. So that if you're upset, you're passing after your Panera, you can throw stuff in my.
That's right.
yeah, Jessica says money connections trump anything else. And sorry for the pun there.
Hey-o.
No pun intended, but
We're gonna get to that.
that's that double standard. Now, here's the question that I will ask, and I'm asking the general public, and let me know your thoughts. Is why is it why do we think as a race, as a collective, as races, as a collective people of America, why do we think that it's only the elected officials with the money and the connections and anything more that we forgive and move on? Because and here's why we think that. Those are the only ones that make the news. Those are the only ones that are quote unquote newsworthy. Right. You know, what if that guy said those numbers and said, these are your elected officials in Crystal Lake, Illinois?
McCarran County officials.
What? You know what I mean? Different, right? But allegedly. But of course, this is about Congress. This is about, right? So when you're watching the State of the Union or you're watching anything, you're basically looking at a room full of thugs, dressed to the nines.
Right.
Well, you know, the definition
now we have to be careful.
Thug, based on the people's perception, are different meanings, right? Because as the person lives in their little home of the suburbs and, you know, gets up on Sundays, goes to church, mows their lawn, does all that stuff, and then they have to go pay a bill downtown Chicago somewhere, and then they come across a guy in this building who's got 3 teardrop tattoos.
Yeah.
They're tatted up their necks, and you know, maybe a bandana that's covering down half through their eyes and stuff. But they're automatically judging that person by the way they look, and they're utilizing the word thug.
Right.
And so a lot of times tattoos will just say Thug Life across their chest, but you don't know that person's out helping
Rip Tupac.
Millions of children or doing something good for the community because they're looking at them in a certain light, right? And the movies dictate that definition. Everything is pointing to that as Thug Life. But you're 100% right. You could be in the suit, sitting in a big chair. You're kind of a big deal, once again, with the it factor. And those are the biggest bullies. Those are the biggest thugs because they're painting a lie.
Well,
painting a
I don't mean to paint a picture, but
allegedly,
right? I don't mean to paint a picture, but at one point, a thug was a double-breasted suit, nice fedora, and a Tommy gun.
No comment.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
What you think about that, Drew?
At one time.
Right.
It's on your mind, Drew.
Nothing. I'm Irish.
At one time. right. Hey. All right. Right. So why at one time was it
right?
The well-dressed guy, double-breasted,
Peaky Blinders
suit,
type of
right? With the Tommy gun, that was the thug. But now we rolled into the droopy pants,
bebopping around the store,
right?
Bebopping around the store.
And a lot of that,
He pulled the Scott.
That's what he said.
And a lot of that
we were talking about profiling. He's like, they got like a baggy hoodie or pants sagging, bebop around the store, like, bruh.
Did he use the word fiddlesticks at the end of that sentence? What's happening?
We love you though, bro. We love you.
Scott, you're awesome.
It's called scotting on this show.
Fiddlesticks.
Try not to scott all over the place. We love Scott.
We do.
He's great. But so you understand what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Is the double-breasted Tommy gun carrying thugs? They didn't ever go away. What we did is we said, let's draw your attention to these thugs. Right. And not only that, but let's create the culture that keeps them in that thugginess. Right. So
it's a good word.
When I was growing up,
I feel safe but dangerous at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Don't question my thugginess.
When I was growing up, the most
emotions involved.
There were 2 guys when I was growing up that the record industry had to come up with parental censoring. We had Luke Skywalker and Too Short, right?
Peter Brown.
Right. These are the tales, the freaky tales. Never mind.
What's my favorite word?
One by one. Anyway, So that was as hard as it got, right? And oh my God. But then we said, ooh, this sold. Let's go deeper on this, right? And so we created a culture because we owned the studios that said, hey man, go there.
Right.
Hey man, go there. Oh, even go further down there. Hey man.
Even the production companies were like,
Right.
Death Row Records.
Right.
Yeah.
They wanted to push that.
Yeah. So we've created
Allegedly.
while the thugs, the pinstripe suits continue doing what they do.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying the Italians, I'm just saying the white crime people.
Right.
And some of that white crime was not white. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying. But now the suit wearing thugs, right? We'll just say that. The suit.
I don't know why this feels good, but keep going.
like this.
So
Tell me more about how the thugs
they
are the
still-
Italians and the whites.
they still did their
It's our
thugginess.
time, guys. It's our time.
They still
We're leaning back for the bullets that are going to come through the window.
They- is that a red line? They still did their thugginess, but then they got elected into positions with and how did you get elected? Well, listen, Drew, I need you to run for this office. You and I are boys. Here's some money to get it done.
Offer you can't refuse.
Yep. Here you go. Right.
My daughter's wedding.
So white collar crimes turn into legitimate business all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
And that legitimate business, quote unquote, allegedly.
Allegedly.
We'll just say all the right words right now. But right, we'll just sprinkle it. That happens all the time. And so next thing you know, when coming from the Italian perspective of it, it's like these guys who take care of their neighborhood, and yes, they've done some wrong stuff, but they're not doing anything different that the government's doing, but it's okay that the government
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So they found the smart way. They were running numbers back in the day. They were doing all these things to make money. And then they would help the old lady down the street because she couldn't pay her rent,
Right.
or they bought the building so she didn't have to, or they took care of their people.
Yeah.
And the people didn't necessarily mean just the Italians in the
No,
neighborhood.
no, no.
It was
Everybody.
black, it was white, it was yellow. It didn't matter.
Right.
Right.
That was
Did he
their
just say
neighborhood.
yellow?
Asians.
Yeah. Okay. Stop Asian
Right.
hate. Stop
Right.
Asian hate.
Purple,
Right.
green.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Oh, they'll say stop Asian hate. I heard BLM in years.
That's it. All right.
Okay,
Anyway.
so but like with that's an Elvis thing, or it's known, right? If you ask people who is crime in Chicago, who founded crime in Chicago,
Mhm.
and you want me to believe that I'm just going to use them because they're no longer around, but like Al Capone just stopped being Al Capone.
Brilliant businessman.
Brilliant businessman, and I'm not, whatever the case may be, possibly, but like we know that it got absorbed somewhere and it still
La-di-da-di.
is in circulation.
Yep.
But I'm still only crime in Chicago.
Right.
Stop
Lottie Dottie.
it. Stop
Free John Gotti.
it.
No, you didn't.
I'm just dropping all the hip hop stuff, right?
Is he be bopping around right
Yeah.
now?
Be bopping around the
rest his
studio.
soul, maybe. I don't know. And Tony Soprano. I miss that guy. Love Tony.
Kill the feeling.
Yeah, good guy. But there it is, right? So we've learned as a society to accept that, to say, oh yeah, that's normal.
Because I was thinking about this today because this happened at work. So we had 100 people at the recruiting place that I worked at.
Yep.
Fridays are casual Fridays. Let's say 15 people are wearing hoodies out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
Still jeans, casual dress down, but 15 of us have on hoodies. I was the only person who was told they looked like a hoodlum. That we're gonna have to get metal detectors at our office from my manager.
Oof.
Well, real quick, Drew, are the other 14 individuals today who are wearing hoodies? Are they hoodlums in your book too, or just me? Now it's quiet because 25 people heard me ask you this question. The part about it wasn't even that I was the only one that got asked, like, yeah, that's upsetting or whatever. The thing is, we just had an office party a week and a half ago. You got cocaine in your pocket. You did lines with your employees. None of you guys are looked at as thugs.
Where's this at?
Yes. What was the grade of
Are they hiring?
Yeah.
But
Is that
I
pure? Colombian?
watched.
Bang Bang.
I watched this manager say who wants to ride the cocaine train, and X amount of employees went to the bathroom. Are they the thugs that you're thinking about? Are they the
No.
broken window? This
Listen,
person?
they were just bumping into each other.
No. This person.
Thank you very
When
much.
we went to the after part, this person got police called because he hit on an underage girl.
Yeah.
Who's also a manager. Who's also wearing a hoodie today. Is the pervert a thug too?
Yeah.
What kind of car did he
Unfortunately,
drive?
Right.
Was it a van?
yeah.
But look, he's crushing numbers. You can't say nothing to that guy.
It's 100% unfortunate, man. I mean, to be picked out and said, you guys did a show not too long ago with the 4 policemen
Mhm.
when they did their pictures.
Yeah, hoodies.
They're all in hoodies, right? Not in their uniforms,
Right. Which I've never
so
seen, but
It was 5, but it was good.
allegedly.
There is allegedly. There's a picture painted of this perception.
Right.
And then when the next person is like, you go into an elevator with your hoodie on, right?
Right.
A white woman walks in. Is she clenching her purse a little bit tighter?
Mhm.
Hell yeah, she is. Why? Because society painted a picture about you.
Right.
Not you per se, but the image of it.
Right.
And then next thing you know, anybody who the perception of each individual person, if that fits that image in their head, it's automatically their profiling automatically.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Nobody can look past that for some reason.
Yeah.
That's why at 21.6 the net we promote for all.
Right.
You know.
Well, the other part, like the appearance part, and I've had someone say this before, whatever, they're like a dress down or whatever, like I don't care. It's like, all right, well, why? Because you wear a skull cap on the radio show. Look to my right. So mine's actually on all the way. His is TI'd. You got
yeah.
that would be more gangster
Yeah.
than mine.
Yeah.
You got the Peaky Blinders hat on.
Yeah.
That's more gangster than mine to the eyebrow.
A little bit.
However, I'm the thug.
Well, that's what Kent was saying earlier.
so
that
what's
the
the
thug's
problem?
coming.
Ken's like, I'm glad you see this.
Kent was going to wear his red glasses because he didn't.
It's all right,
want to be
fellas,
part
back
of-
down. He's
He
fine.
gets it
He's
now.
with us. He's with us.
Are you here for him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Give
he's-
us a minute.
Yeah, he's the white car outside.
Right.
I thought I'd be safe.
Way to try to blend in there, Phil.
I was trying. I was like, pick a safe
So
color.
Jessica asked. So how do we change this? It's so deeply embedded.
We talked about this.
That's a good question.
They told Kyrie to shut up about this.
Really?
Here's
the
how you
Kyrie
change
situation,
this.
right? The
Yeah.
documentary. Did you ever see it?
No.
The problematic documentary talked about how there's a group of people allegedly who first they bought the financial institutions so they control who has the money. Then they bought the media so they control what's input in people's minds. Then they took over the printing for the educational thing so they could tell you, hey, this is who the bad guys were. This is who the good guys were.
Okay.
Right. And there's been a lot of celebrities who got fired or in trouble because they said, well, this is ran by this group, allegedly. And if we want to change the music and how you'll come to Chicago and tell me, hey, I got a record deal if I talk about crime in Chicago. Well, who owns that record label? If you look at who owns the Def Jams and whatever, it's not me.
Right,
If you
right.
look at who owns Beats, it's not.
Right.
Probably a Mr.
Right.
Turner.
Right. So we either have to do what 21.6 is allowing different voices or different media outlets.
Which our Addison studio is under construction right now. They're remodeling it, and that whole studio is going to be a place where if you have that music and you need an outlet for it, and do you want to get it out in front of 35.3 million people,
Come on.
talk to us, because we're going to start doing live shows for local talent, whether it's rock, rap, whatever, hip hop. We're excited about it, and that's coming down the pipe here with 21.6 Creator Studios. It's going to be really, really cool. Here's what I want to say. Here's what something's been bothering me a long time, and it's just my good friend Morgan Freeman. Okay, now here's let me tell you a story about two animals. Let's call one an ostrich, and let's call one a lioness. Okay, because we know that
We just went to two opposite sides of the planet completely. An
Right.
ostrich and a lioness.
yeah. So
Right.
The ostrich, when it feels fear, sticks its head in the sand underground, and because then I don't see the threat. The ending of that story goes, "You made dinner really easy for the lions." Okay. So just because you don't see it doesn't mean that the threat goes away.
Correct.
Right.
So right now, a huge movement in the Americas, right, is stop talking about it and it goes away. Now, our good friend Morgan Freeman, and Morgan, I know you're listening. Thank you so much. You're probably out in the Twitch universe with us.
We'll
and
see you
you're
later,
listening.
Morgan, for lunch.
And I appreciate that.
Too, man.
And I would love for you to come in and talk with us about this, because I'm just getting sound bites of it. But it's like, you stop talking about it. I'm going to call you Drew. I'm not going to call you Drew the white guy. You're going to call me Morgan. You're not going to, right? So there's a lot of things like, you just got to stop talking about it. It goes away. No. You make it easier for the lion to eat you now. Right? Just because I stick my head in the sand doesn't mean the lion goes, oh shit, where'd the bird go?
Right. Way to
He
blend
was
in.
just here. He was just son of a gun.
Way to blend in.
The lion's like, an idiot. Thank you.
Just
I
like
don't have to
throwing his
run.
white car outside.
Yeah, she's-
blending in.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know. I don't have to run now. The lion goes,
The pack is like, what happened? Shit, I had it right here.
So, to be serious a little bit on this, how do you make a difference? Well, it's not hard to make a difference. So stop judging people for what you see. Judge them for what they do.
Right.
so
Learn who they are first. Judge them for what they do. Also, teach your kids, because it'll take generations to filter through. Stop labeling everything. Make pure equality by not even making it present, because sooner or later, the generations will be the same. It won't make a difference if you don't start teaching your kids properly.
So the way you make the change is first. There's two things to me. First, seek first to understand.
Right.
Stop looking at it at a different culture. Stop looking at learn that culture.
Yeah.
Right. Learn about it. So number one is you have to seek first to understand. Number two is you educate.
Yes.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. Right. And that's what we're really about. But
Educate
here's
me so I can educate you.
But here's the problem. We don't. I seek first to go, you're different. You're wrong.
Right.
Pull your pants up. Oh man, you said you got some Italian in your blood. Oh my God. Oh, you're from Europe, Kent. So you're a slave owner. I mean, it goes sideways way too fast.
Right.
And what happens?
Don't forget
is,
to apologize.
right. Yeah.
The truth can be
Right.
healing, Kent.
And instead of listening and seeking first to understand, I go, I don't have privilege. What? I'm poor. I worked hard for everything I got. You could have done the same, right? That's not seeking first to understand what's being said or where this person is coming from.
I agree.
Right? It's wonderful to watch. You and I are really connected through basketball. We do a lot of coaching and developing of people. And I'm helping out a lot with MCC, McHenry County College. Coach Shim Letsom is a great guy.
Yeah.
He does good things, and it's interesting to watch the different people on his team. It's multicultural, so I mean it's a good blend. But there are players who play well, who represent themselves well.
Right.
And when I say represent themselves well, pants are pulled up. This is
Black and white. Yeah.
Black and white. And then there are ones who don't.
Right.
And what is allowed. Now the other thing is I take a lot of time, and a lot of these gentlemen and young men have thanked me because I ask them questions.
Right.
I'm like, hey, you know what? Hey, and it's not around the sport. It's like, hey man, what's your dream? What's your life? Where do you want to go? How do you want to do this? Right. I was talking with one gentleman who's a great guy, And I said, hey, are you getting looked at by other schools? Because he's a sophomore this year. He's like, yeah, some of them are way up in Wisconsin. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, I go, I mean, are you still wanting to play? I mean, what's your area of focus? What's your dream? And his dream is he goes, I want to be a graphic artist. And I go, oh, okay. I mean, cool. I mean, are you thinking like wrapping cars? Are you, what? He goes, no, I want to be a clothing designer. So I go, oh, that's awesome.
Right.
Always represents himself well. Style's really nice.
Right.
So I go, those schools up there, do they have a good program for that or no? And he goes, I don't know. I said, well, figure that out. If that's your dream, that's what you want to chase.
Probably. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I said, I know some people, so let me ask around and maybe they could recommend a school.
Right.
Right. And then we can start maybe looking that way. So that is, and he just can't, you can see the relief on his face because here's a gray-haired white guy taking interest in trying to help him achieve his dream.
Right.
But then I have to follow up, right? I can't just leave it there.
Yeah.
Because then I become like every other white person.
Right.
Oh, thanks for the
No, he was just checking the box. He really didn't care.
Yeah.
Right?
Right?
Follow through is huge.
Yeah. So again, I seek first to understand who this young man is, right? Gave him the book, The Go-Giver, right?
Yeah.
Help him. And I go, listen, this will make you a better teammate. This will make you a better human. And this will make you successful in the business
Absolutely.
that you want to get into. Read this. And he's reading it, right?
That's awesome.
And I said, when you're done with it, give it back. If you're not going to read it, tell me. I won't give it to you. He goes, oh, I'll read it. And the young man, he's reading it, right? But how do you, the idea of is instead of including everybody into everything is really, how can I make a difference in that person's life? I don't
Right.
care who they are, where they come from, or what their story is.
Well, and not to cut you off, Ken, but so quick story that happened a long time ago. I was living in suburbs of Chicago, Schaumburg. The woman across the street, and I was married at the time and I had little ones. The woman across the street, she didn't have a husband. I don't really think something must have happened to her
Right.
with a man at one time where she didn't want to be around men.
Right.
But she wanted a child. So she went and got impregnated from a system.
Right.
Okay. Had a daughter and then raised her daughter to her belief system. Now that daughter doesn't want to be or talk to men or to do anything.
Yeah.
Right. Then she wanted to adopt a child. Well, she adopted a little boy from Russia. Okay. And this kid came in. She paid X amount of dollars. She came in, malnutrition, undernourished. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And she didn't know how to manage him because it wasn't the same as the daughter.
Right.
And it was a boy. So within, I don't know, a year's time, he was such a good kid too. He was a cute little kid. He needed guidance. He needed help. Emotions were kind of messed up. So he was pushing back at her, like,
Right.
tried to bite her and like yelling at her or whatever. She didn't like that. It was inconvenient to her. So she sent him back to Russia. My wife and I came close to adopting this kid
Yeah.
and taking him because now she just sent him back to the punishment he left.
Eesh.
Not to say that they're punishing kids in Russia.
Right. No.
But
He
it's not
came
the same
from
opportunity as over.
Right.
You saw what he came from. So.
Right. And now this is a story that doesn't fall in the Americas to where it's a civil tension between black and white or a different. This is a culture for a woman
Yeah.
who was inconveniencing her, but she wanted. She had this image painted in her head, right?
Well, you want the accolades without the work, right? I want to be able to say, well, I took the kindness of my heart. I brought this kid in from Russia. Just bring him in.
Yep.
So you want to get the praise from that, but then when it's
Correct.
time to put the work in, you don't like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, not great.
What was it? Was saying like caring is like shooting a jump shot, right? Without the follow through, you miss the mark.
That's right. That's right.
It's a lot of basketball
true.
talk around here. And
Yeah.
listen, I'm as short as Spud Webb and round like a ball, but that doesn't mean I know anything about
I guess what would you guys say? Shooting or snitch? I don't know.
Snitches get stitches.
That's it.
Oh, you talking to me?
I don't know anything.
And you talked about it, and so I'm writing a book called Man Cub. Basically, it's like a guide for Elijah, like growing up in the suburbs, blah, blah, blah. And we're using like a Jungle Book analogy. And one of the things was the whole, if you're the prey, I'm deciding lions aren't going to eat me. That's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm getting profiled by a police officer, if I don't think that I'm black, he does.
Yeah.
So me not thinking color Morgan Freeman does nothing for me. But
Correct.
somebody who's not on that particular menu will be like, well, just don't think about that, and the lion will leave you alone.
Yep.
Just because this predator doesn't chase you, that's great for you, bird. However,
Right.
I can't take that advice because we talked about this like that. My jungle's different than yours.
Correct.
I have different predators than you do. So the whole if I don't think about it, it doesn't go away. Like Jessica could wear a hoodie and sweatpants and walk through Schaumburg, get no bad looks.
Mhm.
I could wear a hoodie and sweatpants and purses clenched, followed, whatever the case may be. I've walked in
You
here.
be
and
walking down
called
the
it-
street and then whip, whip. Next thing you know, they pull over. Hey, who are you? Where are you going? Where are you from? Right?
Like, sir, I have a lanyard and a bright highlighter green shirt with skinny jeans on, fitted pants. I don't wear skinny jeans.
Right.
But
We know the truth.
I work for a roofing company, officer.
Right. Right. Where's that at? Where's because you're gonna get that drill.
No,
right?
it happened.
Yeah.
It was like,
Oh, that actually happened.
yeah, this is Kerry Grove. Do you not see True Home Exteriors,
Right.
the lanyard?
What car did you get that out of?
My Altima.
You know what I
Well, what's
mean?
going to happen
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
search
yeah.
the car? What do I find? Energy
Right.
drinks and the Christian books that I
Is this
write.
really your car? Is this really your car?
Which we talked about this, right?
Yeah.
If I can't drive an Altima, how low is the bar, guys? Like, officer, come on.
Well, this isn't a 77 color Supreme Maroon with no windows.
Where are your rims?
Oh, that's
All right.
nice, right? Well, so take that.
All right, so the last five. Let's
Oh,
for the last five. So we got the UFOs, we got the fires, we got the Karl Malone, we got all the other stuff that's going on. And then the thing that someone was talking about was behind all this, the black book of alleged participants is getting released.
Ghislaine Maxwell's.
And it's awful quiet.
Well, the whole. I mean, we spent more hours watching Johnny Depp than we did.
Yeah.
We had three hand painted pictures from that case.
Amber Turd and
Quickly slap Chris Rock real quick so
Yeah.
everything goes quiet.
Right. Yes, and it'll be interesting to me. It'll be interesting to me how many black magic marker lines are in that book that redacted or however you want to say it. There'll be some. Oh well, what was that? Oh,
what was what?
Right.
Right.
Does there have to be a name there because I highlighted
What's in the
over
email?
something?
You just sent out right here.
Right. Right. And yes, there's going to be a lot of. Now, here's my take on it. Yes, you're going to see a lot of American Hollywood names on here, and perhaps a few past political people who are either dead or not necessarily or close to
You.
right? No, this is what I'm saying is
Yeah.
being this. Yes, you understand what I'm saying. We won't see necessarily people from around the globe or big names that make things happen
The Sultan of-
places.
yeah,
Mhm, yeah. But what we will get focused on is, oh yeah, of course, I couldn't believe that he's one of my favorite actors. You know what I mean? That's what's going to get us.
Yeah.
But then there will be some black lines,
Right.
And
Why's it got to be a black line?
well, that's what they use. That's what the FBI
My
uses.
mind went Black Lives Matter. And
Right.
so we're same boat.
So
Different or
Yeah.
same boat.
So that's what's going to happen. It'll be because America loves Hollywood. People around the world love Hollywood. They're going to go,
Right.
well, yeah, Alec Baldwin, he killed somebody. I could see that now.
Well,
I
they're
could see that he did,
identifying
you
with
know?
the art that they do, and that doesn't mean they're the characters that they play.
Well, I mean, we
You
could,
know?
right, but we could also say that too. Alec Baldwin murdered somebody and ran around for 2 years.
Chilling. He did. But my thing, if we're more worried than, and one of my favorite actors was in the Filthy Rich documentary or whatever that they did on the whole story, and I was like, dang. Well, he's to me like I can't anymore. But if I'm more concerned that it's him versus my local government official, that's a
Correct.
problem.
That's a problem.
That's a
huge
problem.
problem.
even in the corporate world, like when all this happened, and 1,500 CEOs, VPs, higher ups just left their job in the same
I'm going to
week.
retire. Oh, you're retiring. I'm retiring. Interesting.
Well,
You're
same week.
retiring.
Yeah.
Retirement party.
We're
It's a
retiring.
retirement party.
1,500 across the.
Yeah, all in the same 2 weeks.
1,500.
Yeah.
It was, and I think
Major corporation
major corporation
around the world.
And I'm just using a name that's not specifically like a Nike CEO just stepped down the same week
Just
that
decided.
the Adidas VP, like
Coincidence
in the same week, like 1,500. And to tie it all back together is perfect how this got set up. Just because you ignore the predators, does not mean they go away.
That's right.
So while all this is going on, and it's cool, UFOs, right? I love signs. Fires definitely take place in Chicago Heights. Pay attention to it. Carmelo, and wash your hands, and do the penalties. However, pretending like it's not going on isn't going to make it better.
No.
Right. And what you don't want to have is that predator show up in your home or affect your family.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know why we're trying to turn a blind eye as a country to
As a world.
but like, and I understand like there's the fear of, people who talk about this stuff.
I mean, here's a man who said, "Oh yeah, I got my diploma. Never had a diploma. Hey, okay, you got a lot of money. Why don't you be a professor here at my college?" Huh?
And conned his way up the top.
Well, yeah.
You made a career blackmailing officials and police officers, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, well, here's this picture
Allegedly.
of you and this 13-year-old.
Allegedly. He's dead. He can't defend
So
himself.
if they ever accuse me, just know I got this picture of you and this 15-year-old.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Even though 60 people came forward in the same town.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Man. Okay.
Well,
Bill Cosby.
Let's-
Then allegedly.
Well, I know there's a countdown going here, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So here, real quick, it's definitely not a good time to take a hot air balloon ride,
No.
No.
but it is a great time to go check out Phil's book on
Yeah.
Amazon. What's the name of the book, and where do they find it?
Around the World with God in 45 minutes. It's on Amazon right now. We'll be on learntosew.com. I'm excited for that to get relaunched. But Amazon right now, the book supported.
That's awesome. That's
Excited
awesome.
for it.
Looking forward to the next book too.
Yep.
That's
Good
coming
stuff.
around the corner.
Appreciate you. brother.
Also, I think we have a lineup happening, Kent.
Yeah, so we've got Innovative Strategies on Fridays here at 10:30 with Bill Hasse. He's going to have Mark Carter with him today. Great podcaster,
awesome.
trainer, and working into part of our training platform here at 216 Creator Studios. We've got the Neighborhood Pulse coming around the corner, and we've got In the Know with Steph and Joe later this at 3. And listen, out there, I think it's on Wednesdays, maybe at 2 or something. Our guys, Marlon and Ricky, do the Success Journey podcast show. And if you are, they just had Coach Rob on. Did you see this? So from Last Chance U.
Okay.
The white Coach Rob.
Yeah.
They just had him on. It was a great show. That'll be, you got to check that out though on Apple Music or at 216 Net, or just run over to our good friends at the Success Journey podcast show and listen to it there. Good stuff. That was a cool one. Of course, I'm a big fan because I watched Last Chance U, the 2 seasons.
Right.
Good stuff.
Was super excited to see the second episode of Roger That Chronicles.
Yep.
For veterans.
It's good
veterans.
show. For
It's
veterans,
awesome.
by veterans,
Yeah,
and
nice.
it's just good stuff all around. Listen, we got to run. Swing back, and until we, thanks for getting caught in the net. And until we meet again, be good, but more importantly, be good to one another. And thanks for hanging out with us on the bridge.
Love you guys.
Take care.